It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream to be and oh to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. Dear God, this day, be with us. Wrap us in your presence like a blanket. Comfort our saddened souls. May the grieving family find solace in the love they share, in the devotion of friends and community, and in the knowledge of your sheltering presence. God, console us all in the faith that Sharon lives on among us in every family celebration, in each of our smiling memories, in the legacy of her generosity of spirit, in her devotion to family and friends. Dear God, Shomea Tefillot, hear our prayers. Find favor in this child of Israel, beloved wife, mother, grandmother, beloved by all, cherished and admired. Shower your presence upon her. May she be welcomed into your presence forever. And we say, Amen. Adonai roi lo echsar. Adonai is my shepherd. I shall not want. God makes me to lie down in green pastures, leads me beside the still waters, and restores my soul. You lead me in right paths for the sake of your name. Even when I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod, your staff, they comfort me. You have set a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of God forever. Eshet Chayil miyimsa, a good wife who can find. Her worth is far beyond rubies. The heart of her husband fill. Trust in her, and nothing shall he lack. She renders him good and not evil all the days of her life. She opens her hand to the needy and extends it to the poor. She is robed in strength and dignity, and cheerfully faces whatever may come. She opens her mouth with wisdom. Her tongue is guided by kindness. She tends to the affairs of her household and eats not the bread of idleness. Her children come forward and bless her. Her husband, too, and praises her. Many women who've done superbly, but you, Sharon, surpass them all. Charm is deceitful, beauty is vain. But a God-revering woman is much to be praised. Place before her the fruit of her hands. Wherever people gather, her deeds speak her praise. That was Sharon. We are here today to pay tribute to our dear Sharon and to comfort her beautiful family. I'm Rabbi Josh Caruso of Anshe Chesed, Fairmount Temple, and it's my honor to pay her tribute today. I ask, as we move through this time of grieving, for everyone to check your phones, to make sure they're on silent or just turned off so we can just be here today and remember Sharon for blessing. There's a few family members who would like to share some memories. Elisa is going to speak first, followed by the grandchildren.
Mom, Sharon, the present pro, the title she cherished the most was Mimi. Family came first for Mom, a value she and Dad instilled in all of us. She raised us to be close, not just in proximity, but she did win the lottery on that one. All three of her kids live in town, actually the same town. We're all in Solon. Dan and I even chose to build houses in the same development, 6 houses away. Reflecting, that must have been an amazing time for Mom that needed tremendous self-control because, see, Dan and I use the same builder. And so when we were making our decisions and talking to each other and picking out everything, poor Mommy had to listen to both, be very supportive, and not say a word. So kudos to her because I don't think I would have had that kind of self-control. So Mom and Dad moved to Solon, where Dana finished her high school career after putting Adam through 4 years at US and having me at Ohio State. Looking back now as a person who has kids in college and older, I'm amazed how they possibly managed all of that. One of the best qualities of my mom is that she never met a stranger. Initially, U2 brought a continuous string of returning customers. Mom got to see them and kibitz, celebrate the life milestones with personalized presents that became cherished keepsakes in homes across Cleveland and beyond. I remember getting a call when I was in college from Mommy. Hey, I met a girl's mom in the store. She's Jewish and going to Ohio State. I gave her your number. This is the norm with Mom. If she can help, she will. If she can connect, watch out. You can count on that. Mommy knew everyone. Wherever we'd go, if she didn't know anyone, she'd made friends with them. Reading a few of the comments that people have left, there were so many customers, friends from high school days and reunion committees, even people that cut Mom's hair now and waited on her in restaurants. She made friends everywhere she went. I think that Mom had more Facebook friends than Zuckerberg. Oh, and family. Boy, do we have a big extended one. You can barely leave your house in Cleveland without running into someone we're related to. We all love seeing and hearing from cousins near and far. We realized just how many cousins we had when my kids were at Camp Wise. I got a letter about some people that the boys had met, all excited, and then a mention of a cute girl. I could not write back fast enough telling them that is your cousin. Do not kiss that cute girl. Things the last few years have become a bit challenging. Dad had a quadruple bypass and got COVID while in ICU. That really opened up our eyes to the progression of Mom's vascular dementia. During COVID, we'd spoken on the phone and FaceTime every day, but Dad lovingly covered so much for Mom. And, excuse me, Mommy was incredibly smart, brilliant in school, and with people, a rare combination. So when the memory became more of an issue and a challenge, she still compensated heavily. I bet many of you didn't even realize the path of vascular dementia she was on. It started after her first small stroke. She was still running the store, acting like the amazing, vibrant woman she was. Little things started to slip, eventually became bigger things. First, we didn't know. She would blame things on the stroke, but we realized it was more. Conversations and relationships with friends and other family became more complicated as people didn't understand Mom's confusion and some of her uncharacteristic behaviors. Hopefully anyone that she encountered like that understands and will remember her as the incredible, vivacious woman she was. They say losing someone with dementia or Alzheimer's is the longest, cruelest goodbye. I agree and I disagree. Would it have been less painful if we'd lost Mom suddenly or unexpectedly? Honestly, yes. But then I would have missed out on all the hidden gifts. The time talking to Mom, making sure nothing is left unsaid, learning to be a bit more patient, realizing you don't know what's happening with others. A little kindness goes far. Showing my kids how to lovingly take care of a parent. We all visited Mom nearly every day, especially my sister, who made sure Mom never went a day without family. All the grandkids bringing so much joy, many times trying to hold in their pain as they watched the Mimi they adore slowly disappear. Mommy's last words to me were, "Love you." The spectacular sunrise on Friday when she passed away was my grandparents getting heaven ready for her. They turned on the purple party light and her rejoicing to be together. Love you, Mommy. You were the best mom. You touched so many lives, and your legacy will always live on with our family.
I never really was good at public speaking, but Mimi means so much to me, to so many people, so I would like to share a few memories. If you were to ask me what my favorite memory of Mimi was, I could not possibly answer that because there are so many good ones. Her alma mater was Ohio State, and that was so important to her. Whenever something happened with Ohio State or Cleveland sports, she always cared so much about it. She would always be glued to the TV and love watching the Ohio sports with all of us. Her favorite color was pink, which is why most of us are wearing pink stuff. She loved anything pink, no matter what. Pink glasses, pink bracelets, pink shirts. I remember when I was a kid, the best thing in the world was when Mimi and Pa came over to babysit and they brought their computer with the best game, the I Spy game. That would keep me and probably most of my cousins occupied for hours, so when it was time for bed, I would beg and beg and beg Mimi for just 15 extra minutes. She'd agree as long as I would pinky promise to never tell a soul. When she would put me to bed, she would play the best games that would always make me tickle till I fell off the bed. Another thing that I don't remember quite as well as the rest of the cousins is our trips to Presque Isle. What I do remember is all of us on the frog hopper ride and just seeing her sit on a bench looking on with the biggest smile across her face. Mimi was always one of my biggest fans, and she showed it a lot. During some of my sports games, she got a bit out of hand and may or may not have cussed out another coach. She would always yell at people for being too aggressive of her little boy. Whenever I scored a goal or got a touchdown, I would always get something super special to me, $2 bills. These bills would always light up my day because I thought in a couple of years they'd be worth a lot more money. Whenever we went to a family gathering, she would always be the best person to talk to. Whenever there was something going on in my life, or there might have been a girl in my life, she was always the best person to talk to. At the signature pool, she would always carry her little splashy guns and would always spritzy gun and would always spritz everybody with the water, and that made her really happy sitting in the kiddie section. Like Aunt Lisa said everywhere, we're basically related to everybody, so kind of makes that a bit hard on me. I know whatever I end up doing in life, she will always look on with a massive smile across her face and be proud of me.
Mimi, also known as my grandma, has done everything for me, and for that, I am forever grateful. She has touched the hearts of many others. I always remember her as someone who would talk to everyone. She's always talking to someone, especially when she took us to the pool. Mimi is one of my biggest supporters. Whenever I had a game or a meet, she would be there for me, cheering me on. One of my favorite memories is when she would come babysit for us, and she would always bring her jewelry kit. We would make earrings, bracelets, and necklaces all night long. Other memories I have of Mimi is her back scratches, her doing measles a lot to us, and whenever I slept over at her house, I would play with her little china set that she had in her glass thing. Also, she always used to use Yiddish words around us. She also called me a nickname that has stuck with me. It was doll face. Whenever she would drop me off at gymnastics, she would always say, "Bye, doll face." Mimi was such a lovable, outgoing, and lively person. I will cherish the wisdom and love she gave me for the rest of my life. Mimi always has been there for me, and she always puts others before her. She is a wonderful person, and for that, I am beyond grateful I was able to have her be such a big part of my life. I love you, Mimi.
Mimi, you are something truly special, a glowing example of the best parts of an older time. When you met anyone, they became family. You had a magical way of making everyone feel so welcome and loved. Above all, you taught everyone the importance of family. No matter what the case was, you always made sure family came first. Whether it was coming to all of our events growing up, from sports to concerts, all the way to Thanksgivings outside during COVID, you always kept the family close. My memory of you will always be of the lively, warm, loving woman that you were, and I will always keep those lessons with me forever. When I have my own family, way in the future, I want them to be as close as we all are and always will be. You gave me the blueprint for that, and I thank you for it. We all love you so very much, and your legacy of this family will be strong for generations. Thank you for what you have built.
Where do I start? My memory of Mimi has always begun with, ever since I was a little kid, I just remember always going to the dollar store, getting whatever chocolate I want, and she's getting way more chocolate than what I would ever pick out. I would always remember, and as my mom said, any new Jewish friend I met, she would always somehow say, "Oh, I babysat her when I was in middle school," or "Oh, that's your eighth cousin removed," or something. There's always something with her. She knew everybody, and I wish I could just be like her and just have all those connections, and no matter where else she went. And oh man, I'm gonna miss her.
One of my favorite memories with Mimi is when she taught me how to draw with a rock on the sidewalk. And whenever I'm bored and playing outside on my own, I just do that. I love you, Mimi.
Just beautiful, beautiful memories, and know how proud she was of all of you. Friends, at the end of our days, we are cloaked with many identities that are the sum of our deeds throughout our lives. For Sharon Beth Blumenthal, she was known for many things: being an artist, an entrepreneur, a conversationalist, an educator, and of course, doting Mimi to her beautiful grandchildren, and for always putting family first. Sharon's artistry is what so many of us have experienced throughout our lives. We have all given and received her special gifts. If you lived in Cleveland, you received something monogrammed from the hand of Sharon Blumenthal. Initially you too, specialized in monogrammed and personalized items and gifts, including hand-painted, embroidered, or imprinted clothing and art. It was a hub of activity on the east side of Cleveland for over 30 years. It all started when Sharon couldn't find a baby bead bracelet for her daughter Elisa with the spelling she had preferred and she had named Elisa with. As a result, she created her own bracelet for her newborn, and that launched a business. A savvy entrepreneur, Sharon opened up a storefront on Warrensville Center Road. Then it moved next to, of course, Corky's, and she never looked back. She was known to leave self-created gifts for friends and family when she thought of them. A not small number of people found themselves working for Sharon and fondly remember it being one of their first jobs. Born and raised in Cleveland Heights, Sharon was a proud graduate of Heights High and served on many a reunion committee to mark milestones after graduation. She received her undergraduate degree in education from The Ohio State University and taught at Coventry Elementary, first grade. She regarded her students as her own, and as she aged, she became like a grandmother to them all. She taught and served as a substitute teacher at Fairmount Temple for so many years, building Jewish connections with new generations. It seems as if everyone had Sharon as their teacher at least once. My interactions with her throughout the last 2 decades were like the ones so many remember. She was kind, interested in you, eager to connect. She loved kibitzing with just about anyone and always seemed to find common ground with you. This was her routine at the store. It afforded her the opportunity to get caught up on you and what was going on in your life. This happened at the pool, playing mahjong, and when she proudly watched her grandchildren play sports and engage in all activities. She found people, and people found her. In her special way, she was always open to relating to you in some way. She found that opening quite easily. That ability was one of the things that drew Phil to her. They met at a wedding, and Phil was introduced to Sharon. He immediately found her good-looking, friendly, and warm. They soon began dating for 7 to 8 months until they were both ready to wed. They both knew they were headed in that direction. Knowing he was going to propose, Sharon told him, "You have to talk to my dad." And soon after, and that wasn't always easy, soon after they were married at Community Synagogue in 1969. Sharon and Phil raised 3 beautiful children who were just up here, Elisa, Adam, and Dana. They were given a firm foundation of love and support. And what a gift it was for all 3 kids to land right here in Cleveland. All 3 attest to the fact that their mom influenced them in profound ways. Dana is a craftsperson herself, taking Sharon's creativity to a new level with her own personal business. And the same is true for Adam and Elisa, whose entrepreneurial and communication skills have informed the trajectory of their lives. And their partners, Josh, Alana, and Jay, became family to Sharon and Phil and extended that love. It's easy to look right past Sharon to her children and to see how they have learned from their mother what it means to create and build community. This is why so many of you are here today, because of the inextricable connections that they continue to make with the greater community. It comes naturally to them. It's just what you do. You take care of your own, you take care of your family, and you care about the people in your sphere. To Sharon, family was everything. And as her role as a grandmother, as Mimi grew, her love's capacity grew. Every kid's activity was important, and those events filled her hours, especially on weekends. Sharon was there for pickup and drop-off, lovingly helping out where she could when needed. Zach remarked how his Mimi was constantly in motion, ever present at family functions. And of course, the bracelets and spending time with Mimi at the pool. And Blake, you talked about her world-class back rubs and back scratches. She would commonly say, good health is real wealth. And as her maladies took hold in the last decade or so, those words meant more than anyone could know. She seemed to know what many of us recognize as we get older. Our days are a finite commodity, and the greatest asset, as James Taylor put it, is enjoying the passage of time. And she seemed to do that so beautifully. She extended that joy to others, inviting people she knew needed a place to go for Passover or other holidays, to family celebrations, making space. There seemed to be this indefatigable expansiveness of love that she wished to give. Rabbi Yehuda Aryeh Leib Alter, also known by the title of his monumental work, Sfat Emet, reflected on a rabbinic saying about the great capacity of humans to create art. I adapt his words here. He said, the Midrash explains the verse, deep waters are the counsel in the heart of a human, but a person of understanding can draw it up. Every person has counsel hidden in their heart, and there are many ways to serve the Creator. This is what the Talmud is referring to when it was said, I searched and I found. Truthfully, it is according to how much a human searches that they will find the spark that is buried inside one's heart. It was Sharon who had that spark all along. She used her artistic gifts, born from the deep waters within her soul, to create lasting memories for so many here today who honor her life. Like the treasures she created and painted, the essence of her life, the essence of her days, will long remain with us. A spark, ever present in the love we continue to share with one another. I can still feel the spark of Sharon's presence. I bet you can too. It was strong. It remains strong. Zichrona livracha. May her memory be an enduring blessing. And let us say, Amen. Let us pause for just a moment as we consider the gifts that Sharon brought to each one of us. I invite you now to rise as you are able for the chanting of the memorial prayer, El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hamsei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei HaShechina, Im Kedoshim Mutorim, Kezoar Rakia Mazirim, Et Nishmat, Shoshana Bat Simcha Bunam Verezel, Shalcha Leolama, Bal Rachamim, יסתיריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור מצרור החיים את נשמתה, אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום על משכבה, ונאמר Amen. God of abundant mercy, God most high, may the soul of our loved one, who has gone into eternity, find the gift of perfect peace in your embrace, together with the holy and the pure, whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold her close to you forever, so that her soul may be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May she find a home with you. May she rest in peace. And together we say, Amen. As we turn to the conclusion of our service, you may be seated. As we turn to the conclusion of our service, we recognize Sharon's loving survivors, her husband Philip, her children Alyssa, Adam, and Dana, Josh, Alana, and Jay, her grandchildren, Zachary, Brett, Aiden, Sage, Blake, Reese, and Haley. She loved you all so very much. As we turn to the conclusion of our service, we are going to move to Mount Olive Cemetery for the graveside burial. Following the burial, family will receive friends at the residence of Dana and Jay Hogler, 7301 Capilano Drive in Solon, 7301 Capilano Drive. They will be sitting today following services until 8 p.m., tomorrow, Tuesday, from 12 to 4, and then again later in the day from 6 to 9. Today through 8 p.m., and tomorrow, 12 to 4, and then 6 to 9. Friends who wish may contribute to the Dementia Society of America. May her memory be a blessing.